Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. Start of a brand new season. It's season 9. We've got a lot of transfers and stuff to talk about. Thought we'd start here on, of course, Matty's wigs. Look, the potential. I don't know if that's maybe just my scouts or something, or someone we've signed, or I don't know, but it is a little bit on the concerning side. That being said, regardless, he's still going to be phenomenal. He has now turned 17, and as a result, he has, turned pro, so he's now on £190 a week on a 3-year deal. He's got a 3-year extension clause in there too. However, I get the feeling we won't get to the point of having to extend that, because he's probably going to be asking for an extension before he's 20 years old, you'd have to say, given the levels of quality that this lad actually has in his locker. Hopefully, he isn't just flashing the pan and he actually is as good as we think he is from the beginning. Hope so. He's still only 17, remember. He's also ungodly hot in here right now, and wearing all this extra garbs is not going to be great. So if you see the little drips coming down my face, you know why. So this has been a bit of a weird summer. We've kind of been in a bit of a limbo situation right now, where the players that we can afford to sign don't want to join us, the players that would really improve the team for the most part. And that's a real problem for me, because it means I've had to rely on loans in certain areas, and I have gone after some other players, but it really has been a difficult one, and I really do think that our best foot forward, and the best way we can go about this, is to sign young and develop ourselves, because unfortunately, trying to sign established players that are going to meet the quality that we have now is virtually off the table for us, because we're essentially seen as like a feeder club in Europe at the moment, and to sign a 4-star player at our level, that player is almost always going to have been playing for a big side right now. So I think the only way we can really go forward is to just start farming the youth players, like we did with Red Star, to properly get that youth conveyor belt going. And I've still got 12 million left in the bank, so I might just go out for the rest of this window and go pick up a load of younger players who haven't got the current ability there yet, but have got the potential in theory. And that's, I think, what we're really going to have to do, because I've really struggled to find players that I think are actually going to genuinely improve us. We have still signed a few that I think will definitely help, but yeah, and the main thing is we could not get Rafael Rodriguez back on loan. I offered Manchester United, in the end, a loan fee of 5 million for the season, and they still wouldn't let us have him. Because they want to give him first team football, and that's fair enough. I offered a transfer bid and they wanted £121 million. So I think we had a good season with Rafael Rodriguez last year. That was a real piece of luck for us, and I think we're going to miss him. Victor Hugo actually won player of the season. I was expected it to go to Rafael Rodriguez, but it did not. Victor Hugo, as top scorer, he won it, which was delightful. Our B team won that lower league cup again, which is really nice, so they'll be in the proper cup this year. Albarracin was actually called up to the Peru World Cup squad, which was pretty damn nice. We'll show you the World Cup in a minute as well. Annoyingly, the Rakov manager won manager of the season. We beat the points record for the league, and their manager won manager of the season. Kill me. In case you're interested, Arsenal actually won the Champions League with a late equaliser and then a goal in extra time from a player called Brenner, who I think is a real guy. And we also got like a backlog of articles through. When the season finally finished and we got the season review, I actually got the season's reviews from the previous seasons too, the ones that didn't finish properly. So I think that might have finally wrapped up all that nonsense, which is great. Unfortunately, though, we have slipped to 11th in the coefficients, which is really poor, because it means that at the end of this season, we're losing our automatic Champions League group stage spot as a result of everyone else performing like garbage in Europe last year. Really, really cost us. I think we can earn it back fairly reasonably, I would say, but that is a real problem, the fact that we're not going to have an automatic group stage spot for next season. We've still got one for this year, and of course, we're in it. The board are also upgrading the youth facilities. They did it without even asking, which is really nice. And they're upgrading the stadium again. I didn't even ask them to. It's going to be, 10,725 people. They're going to do it throughout this season. But, slight caveat here, is we have to share with Legia for the entirety of this league season. So I'll be interested to see what that does to our attendances, but we have to share with our mortal enemy. So there's that. And I got into the Poland Managers Hall of Fame into 10th place, which was really nice. So obviously we're on the day of our first league game today, which is actually against Łódź, newly promoted Łódź. We have played the Super Cup final. I'll show you that as well. But I think next year what I might do is play a few of the league games so we get further into the transfer window, because it's still only the 18th of July. There's a couple of transfers still up in the air, and I'm still going to go after a few more. There's a couple that are in the contract phase at the moment who I think would definitely help, but one of them might well snub us and go to Porto. And I don't really know if I'd blame him for that, but I might show you those guys, or I might just show you them if the deals come through. But for now, let's talk about outs, because there have been some. No surprise, really, but Domingos Mane has moved to Spurs. Free transfer, unfortunately. It was just one of those things that had to happen. It's a shame, but I have tried to strengthen in there. We've really struggled to keep hold of players in this summer. That's what I would really say. We've had big bids for just about anyone who's got any quality, including Alberto Freitas, who's already kicking up nonsense about wanting to leave, despite not even really having played for us yet. PSG and Arsenal came in for him. I haven't sold any of those guys yet, but unfortunately, most of them kicked up massive fuss, even though some of them had release clauses, and you can do that thing where you set the price really low, and then you ask the player, look, will accept a bid for you, but only if it meets your release clause. But annoyingly, a lot of them are just like, no, you've got to let me go now, even though it's bloody no money. And that's really annoying. It's funny how release clauses only seem to work one way. They're desperate for a release clause in their contract, but they won't let you actually honour that release clause when no one bids for it. But there you go. Berent has gone out on loan for a season. I felt like he could do with it, and it's to Rook, so it's a Polish side. We haven't got that many loanees out yet, but it's because we're not towards the end of the window just yet. Dirk Pijnenberger's gone to Corona for £26,000. Not a huge amount. I literally just accepted whatever bid they put in and added a 50% of the next sale fee clause. That way they're getting relatively cheap up front because they're probably not going to sell him anyway. Falcao has also gone out on loan again, this time to Sandizia. I think still in the second tier, or they might actually be top flight now. I'm not really sure, but the point is he's gone. And the other signing away is Jonathan Giovagnoli. He's gone to Köln over in Germany. They triggered his release clause of £1.8 million. Bit of a shame because I actually was quite a fan of this guy, and that was 2 right-backs you'll just notice that we've gone. Don't worry, I brought a guy in on loan from RB Leipzig who's going to fill that gap nicely, play with possibly Siratsky and Yamrog this year to give us a bit more options. I nearly had a guy called Sande in from Manchester City, and he was godly, like 5-star, 5-star. It would have cost us like 30 grand a week in wages, but I was up for that. Unfortunately, he chose to go to Roma for the season. Don't know why you would want to do that. But that's all the outs. Not too bad so far. There could still be more, though, but because Pandurovic and Vinjevic have all had bids for them. Pandurovic is kicking up a fuss about wanting to leave. So many of these players are kicking up fusses about wanting to leave, but as a result, no one yet has left. The only ones that were actually like, all right with not leaving. Alba Racine kicked up a bit of a fuss, but now he's fine to stay. No bids for Zvigawa, which is really nice. And I think we had a bid for Fiarchik, and I was negotiating it, but they weren't interested in paying much more than I wanted. Oh, and Franceschi. We had bids for Franceschi from Dortmund, so he's annoyed at me for not letting him leave either. But I'm determined to hang on to Ruben Franceschi. I'm hoping that once the window shuts, they'll lose interest, and as a result, we can get these guys on new contracts. Some of them have still got 4 years left, so we should be all right, I think. So, the first piece of business in is Anthony Campagnaro, who is an Italian 23-year-old, which is quite actually old, but I assume he was one of the regions from the early part of this save, to play on the right-hand side. Now, you'll notice he's actually a right midfielder rather than a right winger. I'm immediately training him to play further up the pitch because I feel like this guy could definitely do a job in that role. Now, he's free. I brought him in on a free transfer. He was released at the end of the season by Napoli, having been on loan at Versus Entella and Lecce. So, to get him on a free transfer, I thought was reasonable. He's only on £2,500 a week. He's got good crossing, decent dribbling. He's got decent finishing. He's 6'4", good physical stats, no consistency problems. I thought for a free transfer, I couldn't really go wrong with bringing in Campagnaro on a 5-year deal that would take him through to his 28. I like the guy, and free transfer. I mean, and he's not on huge wages either. He's not ideal. I brought him in as kind of like the backup right winger that I was going to bring in because hopefully I was going to bring Rafael Rodriguez back. And I think the one area where we're really not that strong is that right wing slot because he's basically first choice at the moment, and that is an issue. Now, the biggest transfer outlay of the summer is Ignacio Bonavento, who's coming from River Plate. 4.6 million is the total for the deal. He is our new sort of DM backup to go with Patino in that role, so we've got a bit more rotation options because I said that was a real area where I was prepared to splash big money. This was the biggest money I could really spend. £4.6 million. I think he's decent. He's 6'2". He's not decent with the heading, but he's tall enough to make that work. Good marking, good enough tackling, positioning, teamwork. He's got good work rate, some decent physicals in a lot of areas. I think he's solid. Only £2,500 or nearly £3,000 a week. It's not massive money. He's only 19 years old. I feel like there's a long way this lad can improve. And he's called Ignacio Bonavento. You can't go wrong. He sounds Italian. Love it. Next up is a loan signing, Eric Rosas, who's coming from Club America over in Mexico. 19 years old. He, I said I wanted to try and bring in a backup to Victor Hugo on that left-hand side. He is that backup. It's Eric Rosas. Now, to me, his current ability isn't great, but there's a lot of things I like about his actual attributes that kind of make up for that. Good crossing, good dribbling, 10 finishing is all right for that. I want all my wingers to have 10 plus finishing, really. Some of the physicals aren't brilliant in certain areas. His balance and jumping reach, because considering he's 6 foot tall, which is a bit interesting, actually, but he's decently fast. He's got great natural fitness, which will be very useful. Passing's all right, vision's all right, great teamwork, decent work rate. I think he's pretty solid. And not only that, very strong left foot, but he's got a stronger weak foot too, which is very useful if he wants to cut inside and quite a versatile player. But paying £475 a week, like this guy paying basically nothing, and I might look to sign this guy permanently if he performs well for us this year, because I think we could get him for a reasonable amount of money. So this is almost like a trial year for him, but I like him. Next up is the guy I brought in to be a backup at right back, or actually play at right back. This is David Malek, who is a Pole. In fact, he used to play for Lech Poznan, but unfortunately they sold him to RB Leipzig for, I think, £3 million. So good to see Lech getting some money in. This to me is not the same as signing from another Polish club. I've actually brought a player back to Poland from Germany, and I feel like that's actually a very good step. So David Malek is back in the country. 14 under 21 caps he's got, worth £3 million. He's on £6 grand a week, which we are, of course, I believe, Oh no, he's on 12 grand a week. We're only paying half his wages. They didn't even want the full amount. I was prepared to pay it. 5'10", great crossing of 14 though. Decent defensive stats. I really, really like this guy, and I think that's going to give us a lot of options with him and Yamrock, and even maybe Siratsky this year. So another loan signing, I know, but still, I like him. Next up is another player for that left wing spot. So we've actually got 3 guys there with Rosas, Victor Hugo, and now we have Diego Del Prete, who's on loan from Inter Milan. Now, again, not paying a huge amount of wages, 5.5k a week. I'm all right with that. He's got decent finishing, his dribbling, crossing. I think he's just a slightly better version of Rosas. Now, I'd actually signed this guy or put the loan off in really early in the window, and it took them like 3 weeks to accept the deal, to the point where I'd actually forgotten that I'd even got this deal done. And then when it came to like accept, I'd already signed Rosas, and I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's have 3 players in that role, so we've actually got some backup, because I genuinely think that... oh no, I tell a lie. I know I said that we hadn't signed a player for the right wing. I've just totally forgot that I did, and you're going to see him now. And here he is. It's a real player. I've signed a 26-year-old Valerie, who's coming from Girona over in Spain. I couldn't believe this deal. Now, ignore the star ratings for once. Like, I take a lot of attention to them, but remember, sometimes they can be deceptive. There's a few things about this guy that I'm not a huge fan of. Like, for example, his height. He's not great tall, but he's got a lot of other features that I'm a huge fan of. Good crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch. His passing isn't great, but he's got okay vision. His technique, his work rate, he's determined. He's not super fast, but he is incredibly versatile. Look at this. He's a very strong right foot, great left foot as well, so he could actually, if we needed him to, play on the left wing as well. So, and not only that, technically, if we really wanted him to, he could probably do a job at left back and right back as well, because he's got 12 tackling and 12 marking. This guy is the ultimate utility player. Now, normally I'd bring these guys in on longer contracts. I could have offered him 5 years, but he's 26 years old already, and I figured that 3 years at £13,000 a week was not bad, because the transfer fee was £1.6 million. They just let him have, I think it was a release clause, but still, that's really, really low. You know, the crosses early might cause us some problems, I don't know, but it might also help us, in all honesty, because often that's how Victor Hugo gets in behind. So I think Valerie could be a very, very important player, and the sheer number of positions he can play in, I think is going to be absolutely incredible. His composure does lack a little bit, which might harm his finishing stats, but I really think this guy could be a very, very useful option to play basically all over the pitch, down both wings. That is sensational stuff. And this is Tony O'Connor. He's coming from Middlesbrough for £1.6 million. I couldn't believe when this happened, because I don't generally sign players from English clubs, because you know what the kind of money they normally ask for. I don't know how this 26-year-old regen exists. I think it happened when I turned on the English leagues. Some other players were generated to fill up squads or something, and that would explain it, because 26 years old, which means, yeah, it doesn't matter. Point is, I think he's quite decent. 20 leadership, he's really, really quite good. And the main reason I brought him in is because I was concerned that we might lose Ruben Franceschi. But either way, we now have 2 fantastic goalkeepers at the club. He's not quite as good as Franceschi, but he is also a sweeper keeper with, what's he called? 9 passing and 17 vision. So, you know, we could always change things around when Tony O'Connor's in the team. And I just couldn't turn down the chance to sign this guy for £1.6 million. I don't know what Middlesbrough were thinking when they sold him to us, but hey, I'll take it every day of the week. So, that's that for now. We've got 2 more players who are in contract stages. If they sign for us, I will show you them, because otherwise I'll just end up babbling about it for too long. You know what I'm like. Plus, there's almost certainly going to be some more players I'll bring in to try and strengthen the squad over this period coming up soon as well. Particularly some more younger players that have just got high potential, low current ability. I've really tried to work on bringing in players that would strengthen us at the moment, but I might need to look for a few more of those just to keep padding out the squad. Really nice one. Pretty comfortable victory over Lech Poznan in the Super Cup final. A goal from Zwigawa and then a goal from Alberto Freitas, who did get a start and actually was man of the match. This guy really does have some quality, and I feel like, as I was saying in the analysis video, he is a real quality player. Now, the one area I've yet to really sign any massive backup is that centre-back spot. So there's still some stuff to work on there, but I'm a huge fan of the guy, and I really do hope we can keep hold of him, because he is complaining like a bitch. It's quite convenient, though, that our first 2 league games are against newly promoted sides, so that could definitely help us. We do have some injuries, though, as you're about to see. So Kuharski's out, Victor Luis is out, but there's also some more injuries, including Victor Hugo and Elton, and I think one more too. So we'll just do a quick pick. I mean, look at the state of these injuries right now. It's not great. We've not had a lot of friendlies either, so yeah, not great. So let's just see how we can do. So Zwigawa is definitely not playing there. In the middle here, is he playing another game today? Yes, he is. Okay, that's annoying. Jacobo Garcia might actually have to play out on the wing for today. He's done all right, I think, in a friendly there. It's a similar story across a lot of this squad at the moment. I'm going to bring Pandurovic back in, though. Okay, so the bench is going to be Zaborowski, Freitas, Orozco, Kevin, Gomez, Pavlovsky, and Bialek, because there's so many players that are unavailable today. Silly on my part, I realise. Oh yeah, we've got some new staff as well. I got a new assistant manager, just some general better scouts and coaches, because we had a lot of trash from the lower league still in the squad, so their contracts expired, so I brought in some much higher quality people, basically. Okay then, not the ideal lineup today. I would have much rather had Valerie on the right, and then any of the 3 players I signed for the left. And as always, it's going to be a little bit tough at first, because we've got to bed in the new players and whatnot, and I think we'll be fine, though. In case you were interested in the 2 players I have got on contract at the moment, one of them is an attacking midfielder he's actually a real player too. I think it's Lucas Nunez is his name. And the other one is a Chilean lad who's another defensive midfielder, but he seems too good to turn down because he's young and quality, basically. So those are the 2 that we've got on offer, if you like. So we will have another, in theory, hopefully, another attacking midfielder joining us to really strengthen that area. Patino, Zvigawa. Oh, he's lost the ball very easily there. But yeah, I hope that we don't lose Pandurovic, because we've got 2 of our centre-backs are under big pressure to leave at the moment, and we would really be struggling if we lost 3 of our 4 centre-backs from last season in one transfer window. So hopefully that won't happen, because I've got no other options at the moment. And Garcia's already through, and he's already scored. Jacobo Garcia, 8 minutes into the season. Huge fan of this guy. AKC, thank you for pointing him out, mate. I give you full credit for that, because that was a great spot in my little... Considering you couldn't even see his stats, you just saw that release course and thought, yep, that guy looks quality. Well, let's face it, he's been brilliant for us so far. It's a lovely first touch and a great finish from the right winger. He's a central midfielder playing on the right wing, and he's given us the lead. Lovely. I really hope that every time Valerie scores or does something, they play that Zooton song over the PA. You know they would. Yamrog. Ball in. No. Second goal, though, we need to just calm the nerves down a little bit. I want this season 20 league goals from Mateus Zvigawa. That is his target, and I think he's fully capable of reaching that. Valerie. Palacios. Out wide for Albarracin again. Ball across. Zvigawa! What a stop from the goalkeeper. That is perfect Zvigawa territory there. Albarracin looks phenomenal again. Goes past one. Zvigawa! Great stop. And Garcia on the rebound can't put it in either. Most games we don't have as many shots as we've just had in that first half, so to only be 1-0 up is a little disappointing. Palacios' ball in. Pandurovic flicks it down for... Oh, it's in! Is that Carballo? I think, or is it offside? Carballo scored, and apparently Garcia was offside. I assume he was standing on the line. I don't know. Let's see. It's one of those annoying ones, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah. Somewhat more subdued in this second period, I have to say. Orozco finds Vinjevic, bends it wide. Well, it's going to be a 1-0 win today, but with 33 shots, we really should be doing a little bit better than that. Garcia's goal early on gives us the victory. Clean sheet, which is always nice, but we really should have scored more goals in this match, I have to say. Bit too many long shots, a bit too many shots blocked, but they did a good job of defending against us, but we got the goal that we needed, and that's the main thing. Come on, lads. And of course, you've got to remember, it's very early days. The squad beds in, the players come back, get everyone back to full fitness, and I think we should have a really, really tight squad this year to hopefully comfortably sweep the league and really try and concentrate on the Champions League, which is what we're going to be doing in the next episode. And that's going to be this game here. Don't know who it's going to be against. Fair amount of games off camera, in fact. That's, 7? So a huge chunk of the league. We're already on match day 8 by the time we come back for the Champions League. But that's where the real stuff happens. I still think we're going to be a pot 4 team, so we're going to have to punch above our weight. But I still think hopefully we can get 3rd place in our group again, regardless of who we're in it with. And then hopefully get some Europa League after Christmas. Maybe try and go real deep into the Europa and get some coefficients there. But the main thing is the other Polish teams need to do their jobs too. So, if you've enjoyed this episode and you're looking forward to the new season, I really hope you are. Drop a like on the video, that'd be spectacular. And if you're new to the channel and this is the first video of mine you're seeing, then hey, subscribe. It's fun, we have a good time, we dominate Polish football. We do now anyway. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Ta-ra!